What's up, everybody? JVille Sports here with my daily sports picks video. It is Wednesday, January 31st. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Let's recap yesterday like we always do. Good and bad yesterday. Let's start with the bad, which was the NBA. I had 6 picks in the NBA and we went 3-3. I'll just start with the games as they tipped off from earliest to latest. So the first game of the day was OKC, the Thunder playing the Washington Wizards without John Wall. So you would have figured a big game incoming for Russell Westbrook, and it just did not happen. He tried. He took a ton of shots. The problem was he missed a ton of them also. So terrible, terrible game by Russell Westbrook. As far as I'm concerned, that's the reason why they lost, because Paul George and Carmelo had pretty good games. So it was Russell Westbrook that screwed it up yesterday. Somewhat close game, but still, the Wizards won that one. So that was a tough one there. The next game of the day was the New York Knicks. I picked them -5 over the Brooklyn Nets, and they covered that. So good pick there. Good game there by New York. They play again today on the road against the Boston Celtics, who are going to be missing Kyrie Irving, and they are already missing the other Marcus Smart. So definitely going to be an interesting game there. New York on a back-to-back, and Boston dealing with some key injuries. So tough one to call there. Boston is still favored by 5, but I don't know about that one. The next third game we had was the Cleveland Cavaliers, also -5, and this one was more bad luck. Kevin Love got hurt, 5 minutes into the game, and did not return. He's going to be out for a while now, and I would say he's the second best or the second most important player on that team after LeBron James, with Kyrie Irving no longer in the picture, obviously. So Kevin Love moves up to number 2, so missing him was a big blow. If I knew he was going to miss most of the game, I would not have picked that game. Of course, the Pistons were at a handicap as well. They traded a bunch of players, and the newly acquired Blake Griffin didn't even play. So the Pistons were shorthanded. Cavaliers just didn't play well. LeBron James shot way too many threes. Even when he was just not a great game. He didn't have much help either. So tough one there. A little bit of bad luck with Kevin Love going out. Once he went out, they just did not have the offense. Next game was the Houston Rockets. Closer game than I would have expected against the lowly Orlando Magic, but Chris Paul didn't play. But still, the Rockets won that game, so that was a good pick there. The next game of the day was the Warriors. The head scratcher of the day. They got blown out by 30 points to the Utah Jazz. This is the best team in the NBA getting blown out by 30 points. If you look at every single quarter of that game, they lost. They lost every single quarter. This probably hasn't happened to them. I'd be surprised if it's ever. I'm sure it's happened before, but definitely rare. They lost every single quarter. Just completely manhandled by the Utah Jazz, who up and down team. So you never know with the Warriors. Sometimes they just decide not to show up, and even when they don't play their hardest, they still come away with the win because they're just that much better than most teams. Yesterday was just not one of those days. They did not show up to play hard, and it showed. Blown out by 30. So tough one there. Obviously unexpected. No one could have predicted that. In the last game of the day, we had the Portland Blazers -2.5 against the Clippers, who were shorthanded after making the trade, and that came through. So we hit 2 of our spreads with the Knicks and Blazers. We lost 2 of our spreads with the Thunder and Cavs, and then we split with the money line with the Warriors and Rockets. So 3-3 with the NBA. Moving over, turning that page to college basketball yesterday. We went perfect. We had 6 picks as well. Everything came through. We had Rhode Island on the money line, came through. Ohio State on the money line came through. South Dakota State on the money line came through. Xavier was our lone spread, my best spread of the day in college basketball, -4. They covered that. Then we had Oklahoma and Kentucky both on money lines. Very, very close games for both of those teams, but the home field advantage definitely helped out there, and they both squeaked out wins. So perfect day in college basketball, which normally is college basketball is what I'm better at. The NBA is just such a long season, and teams just don't show up to play their hardest every single night. So it's very frustrating, especially when you see games like the Warriors yesterday. They just didn't show up. College basketball, usually the teams are trying their hardest every single time leading up to the tournament. As we get closer to the tournament, the harder the teams play, and the better teams separate themselves. Incoming call. Always get a call. Sorry about that. So let's get to today's picks. We're going to make it short and sweet. Guaranteed winner today. No, nothing's ever guaranteed, but it's going to be pretty short. So what we're going to go with is a 5-team money line parlay in college basketball. We're going to go with the Michigan State on the money line, Tennessee on the money line, Purdue on the money line. 3 highly ranked teams all at home. Then we're going to go with Arizona. They're on the road. They're playing Washington State. Washington State's one of the worst teams in the Pac-12. Arizona, after a slow start to start the season, they are starting to show who they are. They're a top 10 team. So Arizona on the road, they're -12. That's a money line. Nevada at home, playing a pretty decent Fresno State team, but Nevada's clearly the best team in that conference, and they're at home. They should win that game. So 5-team money line parlay is -110, I believe. So it's basically just like picking one spread. When you pick one spread, it's -110. So it's the same thing. Basically $300 pays like $270. So that's my 5-team money line guaranteed parlay of the day. We'll see what happens there. A couple lanes for you. Tulane is a spread in college basketball that I'm looking at, 4.5, I believe. In the NBA, I like the Sixers, at least on the money line. You could throw them in the other parlay. Also look out for Dallas. Dallas is playing the Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker is questionable. He did not play the last game. If he does not play again today, look for Dallas to win that game. It's only -3 right now. And the Lakers are playing the Orlando Magic, who just played last night. A pretty good effort against the Houston Rockets. Now they travel back home, so they're playing on their back-to-back, dealing with some injuries. The Lakers come to town rested without Lonzo Ball. That's the only negative there. But I look for the Lakers to take that game. So those are a couple lanes that I'm looking at. But my main parlay of the day, I'll even put it up in the comments, even though it's only 5 games. Michigan State. Hopefully the whole legal, the idiot doctor thing is not a huge distraction for the team. But Michigan State, Tennessee at home, Purdue at home, Arizona and Nevada. 5-team money line parlay. We'll see what happens. That is our parlay of the day. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Hopefully this is the start of a winning streak. We have not had one of those in quite some time. It's getting ridiculous here, so let's get to it. So thank you guys again for joining me today, and we will see you tomorrow.